when I watched The Unsinkable Molly Brown for the first time, I didn't know it was based on a true person, and now I feel like an idiot. I rewatched it, and I kind of still continued to forget that it was slightly biographical. I mean, it's quite reasonably biographical, but from what I've read, it's not 100% accurate. But it's certainly very interesting. This is about Molly Brown, who is a survivor of the Titanic. But that's not what the film is about, for the most part. So this was released in 1964, directed by Charles Waters and written by Helen Deutsch, starring the fabulous Debbie Reynolds, which is the reason why I watched this. And this was either the first or the second Debbie Reynolds film I ever saw. I can't remember. It was either this or Divorce American Style. And I have to say, it was a really great introduction to her. I really enjoyed this film. So the description from IMDb is as follows. A poor, uneducated mountain girl leaves her cabin in search of respect, a wealthy husband, and a better life in this fictionalized biopic of Margaret Molly Brown, who survived the 1912 sinking of the RMS Titanic. So I guess it's kind of, you could say, Molly Brown's backstory before she became the Molly Brown that we apparently know. And part of the film starts off with Molly, played of course by Debbie Reynolds, in the country with really not a lot of prospect, and she decides to go and find her fortune. And then the tone of the film switches, and everybody is jealous of this couple. You know, she finds her rich husband very quickly. She has basically everything she set out to, but you know, not everything is as it seems, and is she as happy as she could be? There are a lot of questions. I have to say, one thing I love about this particularly is the costumes. Reynolds has some ridiculously amazing, extravagant, gorgeous costumes. And they're so beautiful to look at. And I think the pacing as well is something that's really fantastic, because it starts off, obviously, with Molly with nothing, and quite quickly she begins to realise what she wants. And then quite quickly she sets out to get it, but not without obstacles. But it does seem to the onlooker, to the outside world, that this family has absolutely everything. The gorgeous house, the wonderful clothes, all of the money they could ask for. But obviously not everything is perfect. It's an absolutely delightful film. I love Molly as a character. As I said, I can't really compare her to the real Molly Brown, because I don't know anything about her, to be honest. If anybody knows whether or not the portrayal is considered accurate, that would be really interesting to find out. But to be perfectly honest, I just really enjoyed it as a film, and as I said, I didn't even know it was based on a real person the first time I watched it. So I don't think you really need to know anything about Molly Brown to enjoy it. But maybe if you already know about Brown, you might have certain expectations, and I just hope that it lives up to them. This was nominated for 6 Oscars. Best Actress, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction, Best Costume, Best Sound, and Best Music. Unfortunately, it didn't win any, but that doesn't matter, because it's still an absolutely brilliant film. It won 5 awards, and it's done very well for itself. It has 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb across 3,500 reviews, which I think is pretty decent. Is The Unsinkable Molly Brown one of my favourite Debbie Reynolds films? I don't think it's my favourite. Well, I know it's not my favourite, but I do think it's a strong contender, and it's probably in the top 10. If you haven't seen it, please give it a go. It's delightful fun. It's got a great mix of emotions. The costumes are fabulous. The narrative is brilliant. Absolutely worth it.